All right, there we go. Vanguardians, welcome to the very first Vanguardians live stream. This is Jonathan S.P. Minham here with a group of members of the community. We have that went right to Blake. Blake, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Blake. I'm another member of Team 2XC with John.
And also an admin of the Future Card Buddy Fight group. What's here, Mr. Tommy Allen?
Yo, my name is Tommy. I'm a local card player over here in Chicago, and I'm also one of the admins for over at North America Card Fight Vanguard, your sister group. Yay.
Mr. Gall.
Hey, I'm Jonathan Gall, player here in Virginia. Been to a few regionals and all-around card fighter.
Well, come on, you took third in New York, what, last year?
Yeah.
There we go. That's an accomplishment. All right, Mike.
Okay, so I'm Mike Carvalho. I'm new admin on Vanguardians. I took 10th in Toronto, and other than that, I've been a part of the community for a while now.
Wonderful. And Robbie Cole, come on down.
Hi, I'm Robbie Cole, the creator of the Vanguardians. I've topped 3 King of Card Fight Vanguard events in the Midwest, and top 8 at the championship earlier this year. Outside of that, just your average, everyday Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Oh, very modest. He's also the admin of the largest Yu-Gi-Oh group, known as the Zodiac.
You mean Zodiac 4chan edition?
Okay.
Who's not to be rude, but who's watching the stream simultaneously?
Not me, what?
Is it not working?
No, I hear the stream running simultaneously to the Hangout.
Oh, Mike, for you?
No, it's not me.
He has headphones on. It can't be him.
I had headphones on, but I was, and then I
did you know I had headphones
said
on?
anything.
All right, well, we're not done. Hold on, Mr. Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm an active member of both of the Vanguard.
Up, he muted himself.
You went out.
Well, whoops, my bad.
There you
Hi, Robert. I'm in both the Vanguardians and the Buddy Fight page, and I'm an active member, and I play just about any card game you can think of.
There we go. Perfect. That is our panel today. And earlier today, I sent most of these guys what we should be discussing and talking about based on what people had asked us for. Biggest one I want to come out the door with is current meta. It's really funny because I feel like, especially after going to Tennessee this weekend and seeing what people are playing, it's very diverse. Would you gentlemen agree?
Who's going first?
No, we start at once.
There's the Robbie, you played what? Kagero at Chicago?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think of what other decks were you playing against?
I never, ever thought I would play against Luki or Venus, because looking at the Japanese meta, I was expecting Glendios for days. The American meta seems like it's way more diverse in terms of our player base, and I will say this, like, it disappoints me that we diverge in such a harsh manner in terms of the TCG versus the OCG. I guess that could be considered both good and bad, but looking at the scenario, like going into a tournament and you're planning to play against a deck all day and then you end up playing against Rogue, especially a matchup that you're not quite as familiar with, can really knock you off your stocks.
Especially in a best of one. But that's the funny thing about Venus. Venus, he's topped more than any other deck right now.
That's true. I think that was kind of, I guess...
I didn't see any in Toronto. Sorry, that's a lie. I saw one, and the guy got knocked out super early.
Sounds like me. Let's see here. Jonathan, did you play any Pale Moon when you were there?
No. I played against Duos round 1 and, what's his name? Troop de Whoop Alfred. St. Troop, what's his name?
Monarch?
Monarch, there he is. Monarch Alfred round 2.
There's a lot of that.
I don't know. I feel Pale Moon's one of the best decks out there for early game, especially in a best of one format. It's kind of like Eradicators.
So many shenanigans can be used with them.
The big thing I feel about that deck is just it's so stable. Like it's got a nice early game, it's got a good mid game, and it still has a really stable end game. Especially with that 13k defense, I like it.
I mean, do you feel brake ride over cross ride or cross ride over brake ride? Like which for that Venus or any general? I mean, like when you look at like Amon and you look at like a couple of those other decks that have the 13k base, Blaukugr, like people don't run the brake ride over they run the ride chain.
Well, I mean, it's that 13k base is so deadly defensive-wise, and then, I mean, people can't seem to get over that little hump, so I'd rather have a 13k base.
I would like to bring up a point here. Looking at the meta, the way in itself, I think a lot of players just lose to being unprepared. Kind of thinking about the way that, Sura Kaiser ended up topping an event that's just god-awful garbage.
That happened twice.
Why?
But
Hey, you leave my Novas out of this.
Let Robbie's finish.
But, I mean, like, I understand the deck is good. We play tested it after the event. We ran the list. But in terms, it's kind of like Wise. Like, any deck can still win, but it doesn't seem like it should be happening kind of thing. I guess that's kind of... It's kind of where the skill of the player shines in a way, but you just expect the meta to be the best thing to, run.
Well, that's funny because Drag Ruler has not topped at all, and that's considered one of the best decks right now. And then we have something like
Don't
Duo.
remind me about that.
Wait, what do you mean?
Once again, though, these expectations are being based off the Japanese meta and not consistent results in our own metagame, because once again, the Japanese player base is much different as opposed to ours.
Yeah, I mean, take Chicago Regionals, for example. The top 4 decks were what? 2 Pale Moon, or Aquaforce, Pale Moon, Genesis, and Duos.
Duos.
I mean, geez, none of those are considered meta at this point, or at least not anymore.
I don't know about Duos.
I disagree on that one. Duos, Minerva are both easily meta decks. Aquaforce has dropped down a bit, and obviously we talked about Pale Moon being in a rogue deck, but Minerva's still definitely up there, and Duos even in Japan was up there, so that's not a surprise to me.
No, but we were talking about U.S. meta, and in U.S. most of the time it's Kagero, Gold Paladin, and the Link Joker top, and it's none of the other ones.
Yeah, but Set 15 proved differently.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Set 15 threw a whole bunch of new stuff into the mix.
I mean, things are about to get a lot more disgusting, though. Like, me and Jonathan have been talking about how Set 16 is going to wreck the game.
The Set 16, and we'll get to that in a minute, but with all the Legion stuff coming out, it's even scarier for the Worlds, I think. We're getting, like 3 Legion possible decks before Worlds happen?
We're getting, what, Shadow Paladins, Genesis, and...
The extra...
Is 16 being released before Worlds in English?
No, it's not.
We're getting Fighters Collection has a couple Legion cards in there.
Yeah, we're getting the Fighters Collection, then we're getting the Shadow Paladin extra booster, the Genesis extra booster.
You're going to have the Brawler. Go ahead.
Does no one just consider the fact that Sing Abyss is going to be a deck in English for a little while?
It'll be a deck in English for a while.
Yeah, Sing Saver Abyss, it's going to be.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate there. I think Bushiroad's just going to be like, here's Set 16, no mixing of clans.
Well, in official tournaments, you're not allowed to.
But, what's that?
In official tournaments, you're not allowed to mix clans unless it's...
Team tournament, you can't. Regular tournaments,
yeah,
you certainly
it's allowed right now. They have to fix that. That was the problem with Sing Abyss, was because the rule was always you could have 10 shadows. So that was what allowed that deck to slip by. It was only team tournaments that made clan fight a rule.
Can I say one thing about Think Saver Abyss?
They never should have got rid of Lord Abyss. What's that?
Guard Wingle. Just guard Wingle. And the deck shuts down.
Yes.
Why did Japan not do that? I literally, there was a video that showed a national tournament where the guy's like, Wingle, no guard. And it could have blocked.
So that deck doesn't have guards that they can use, though.
Can we just talk about how Barcal could be unbanned, so Sing Abyss is the best deck forever?
Oh yeah, let's go that route.
No, it would make Sing Abyss worse, because you need I
want what you're smoking, sir. Jonathan played me test running Barcal in the deck, and it is.
Yeah, but you weren't playing Abyss. You were playing.
I know, but that's still the point. Like, Barcal cannot become unbanned at this point.
Oh no,
No,
he's
it never can.
broken, but it wouldn't help Singabis. It would just help Seekers in general.
I think unban him in the Stride meta. Why the fuck not? Everything else works.
I have an SP Barcal if anyone is.
Do we get Conro back too?
No, Conroe can stay banned.
No, Conroe makes everything worse.
Conroe can't come back because there's just too much Kagero love right now, and
They
there's
have to say Conroe goes to Soul to make him not to come back, because going to Grave actually makes him better now in the game.
Oh yeah.
bring him back. All right, so let's talk about what we have. Two more qualifiers still left in the English meta. We have
Sacramento and Texas.
What should we expect from this larger community? What do you think we're going to see Rebirth top anytime soon?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I think Rebirth takes too much time to set up. He's kind of like a Glendios. You gotta get him. He's not as bad as Glendios, but it takes a lot more to get him ready. But that's
Robert, what you're in California, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to Sacramento at all?
No, I can't.
Do you know any people who are?
I think people
I don't
who are
even
my
know where
locals, they were all talking about how they wanted to make road trips over there because it's like a 6-hour drive or something from here.
What do they play currently?
I've seen some Paladin. I've seen Minerva. I haven't seen really anyone run Kagero at all. Not near me, at least. Some Pale Moon.
Their waifus, that's why.
Can I give a bit of report from, like, because I didn't really talk about Canada's regionals at all.
Go ahead. What is it? Well, you had your big guy. You took what, 9th place there?
10th.
Okay.
Because of tiebreakers, but yeah. So basically what happened was, going into the tournament, I had Glendios and Rebirth ready, and then talking to everyone there, I found every other player was playing Gold Paladins, because everyone was afraid of playing Glendios. So it actually made everyone who was playing Shadows and Rebirth and everything do better, because they had so much rearguard control. It was beating all the Gold Paladin players. And that's the problem with our meta, is that so many people were afraid of Japan's, and Glendios being the stomping thing. Everyone picked up Wolfrid's to play Wolfrid to counter it, and nobody's playing Glendios because everyone's playing Wolfrid.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I've seen some people that play Glendios around, like in my locals, and they honestly, it doesn't feel like they know what they're doing with the deck. They just got it just to get it, you know.
I'll agree with you wholeheartedly there. Being a Glendios newbie for a little while, and then playing the deck, like, there's a lot you actually have to learn. It's actually one of the most skillful decks in the game, and I mean, watching a trash Glendios player play the deck makes me cringe, because the way that you're supposed to play the deck is lock a column and then just go to town. Your opponent only being able to hit you for 2 attacks effectively every turn, just let you build your hand. I mean, if you're going to go for win con, do it against a really bad player. Outside of that, I mean, if you can optimally lock 2, you'll probably end up winning the game, because you're only going to have to do minimal effort outside of that.
Yeah, at my locals, and I always go with my Beast 80s, and I went up against some guys in Glendios, and he had like no idea how to deal with Beast 80s apparently, because
Lock the front row.
Yo, I got shafted by Beast Deities at the team tournament in whatever it was back in June. I hate that matchup so much.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of just
Big smiling there.
it gets in the way of a lot of decks that require grade 3, because they're like require you to get later in the game because they're so good at rushing that they don't have anything to guard with other than 3s.
Well, yeah, and it's also infinite hell is ridiculous.
Definitely.
Do you feel that's an underrated deck? Like, is that something we should be seeing doing better at Worlds?
I've actually seen a lot of Beast Deity decks at Chicago's. I saw a lot of blouses as well.
That's true. We did. I mean,
Like,
no
are
one
the trial decks there?
feels very.
They're
Sorry.
legal, right?
What's that?
The trial decks are legal, right?
For which trial deck? For what are
Like
you talking about?
Royal, Seekers, Golds?
They're not out yet.
Well, come
on the 21st.
Yeah, come the
The
21st.
other things.
They will be.
So
Yeah,
they're good for Worlds, right?
yeah, they'll be good for Worlds.
Probably.
They'll be good
That's
for
gonna be
nationals,
a
yeah.
crazy meta then, because there's going to be so much more Glendios.
Will they apply that for the meta, though? Because you got to remember, for a high-level tournament such as that, they might not allow any releases in that time period because people have already tested for the
When they
meta
did
game.
set 10, they allowed it, and set 10 was less than a month.
Yeah.
And they also had set
Set 10
15, which
came out.
came out the week before.
Set 10 came out. They did a qualifier. Tachikaze, Narukami, and something else topped. Or set 11, and then set 10 came out right before Worlds, and everyone was running Descendant and Gauntlet Buster. And the freaking thing that won it was
That's
not,
just bad.
Yeah.
That's just bad organized play at that point, though.
Well,
Yeah,
everyone played what they thought was just going to win. Like, Eradicators really didn't do anything in our meta. Like, again, Japanese meta is not English meta.
No, me and my friend did a big thing about that, looking at what everyone plays. It seems like Japan plays a lot of wackier decks, but they definitely play what they thought is the best. But when you apply that to the English meta, we play way more aggressive than anyone else. Like, we have the most Nova Grappler players in the goddamn world for this game.
Yeah, our meta's way more aggro.
Yeah, and then you see people like Germany, and Germany's we play Duke in Eradicator format. It's yep, that's Germany.
What about France and Grand Blue?
That deck was bad. That guy must have stacked super hard. People were talking about it.
Something kind of interesting we haven't talked about.
What was that?
Well, Fighters Collection is going to be out in time for Texas, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Isn't that going to change it? Isn't that going to change up a lot of what we play? Like a lot of the meta there.
I don't think a ton will change.
You're going to see
I
so many
think we're going to see a lot of people playing Dimensional Robos just for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Geyser. We're going to see a lot of that.
I feel like the thing
Triple drive check.
No, because the deck's not that the deck's good, but it's not as good as you think. Because it's definitely not as good as the ability to just run Legion and shuffle all my triggers back in every turn.
Right, but we're not going to have Legion available at the same time.
Fighters
Collection, you'll have 4 units. 2 units.
You'll have 2 Legions.
Cards though. You'll have the mate and you'll have the unit itself.
Yeah, you'll have the Royals one, which isn't that good, but you have the Brawlers one, which topped like crazy the second it came out in Japan.
Does the Brawlers one, though, require actual Brawler support?
Not at all.
Or just
They're
generic?
kind of vanilla. The effects are kind of vanilla. They can be splashed in with everything current. Problem with the Royal Paladin one, there's not a whole lot of great Royal Paladin support right now.
Yeah, until Seekers. That isn't Blast
Then Seekers, Jewel Knights are their own thing. So that one doesn't. I can see that. So.
Does anyone want to know what the Brawler Legion does? If you don't remember.
If you got it, let's put that on there.
I don't know if I can put the picture up, but I have.
No, just go ahead and talk about it. Just tell us what you got.
Okay, so he's 20k like all the other ones. It's Counterblast 2 when he's in Legion. Your opponent nukes picks 2 of his rear guards and they die. And then if you have more rear guards than your opponent, he gets an extra crit.
That's pretty good.
And then if you have more rear guards than your opponent, it also gets plus 2k. So it sings at 22k with 2 crit just by nuking 2 of their guys. Sorry, more units, not rear guards also. So you being in Legion also gets you an advantage over that.
Scary.
I don't know. Again, I don't know if American players will be able to utilize that effectively.
And then his mate is, if your Vanguard's in Legion and your opponent's guy's put in the drop zone, he gets plus 3k, and he's a 9k.
That's pretty good, though.
Alright.
You break right with that.
He nukes 2 on call, so if you break ride over, what's his name? Ignition.
The break ride wouldn't work with that because your Vanguard wouldn't be in Legion at the time of the effect. You would have to break ride effect.
It would work with the
because
plus,
in
but you
Legion.
can nuke
Okay,
4
got it.
things.
Right, yeah, no, you couldn't combine the two. It'd still be deadly as shit, but you couldn't combine the two.
And that's all you'd have to do in the English meta. You'd just run that and run usual Narukami control things, and you'd be good.
Alright, so another question for Fighters Collection. Do you think we in America are going to see Grand Blue with Fighters?
No, probably not till 17, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I could easily see it.
I couldn't see it like a high tournament level, but I can see some more like general play and like locals and stuff definitely sparking.
I played it a lot, and Grand Blue's one of those decks I played a lot. That card, I can't remember his name, Night Snow? Yeah.
He's
The
great.
ability to just infinitely break ride is really good. So I feel like if people just run that with Ruin Shades and just the Interceptors, it's just crazy. They'll just do that. Or the draw cards, they'll just play the draw engine.
But pre-17, you'd have to run it with the self-damagers.
When the fuck did Grand Blue become a deck to even worry about? It's kind of what I'm curious about listening
One
to
at
this
top of
conversation.
France.
I'm gonna
Dominance-
say you want to play against
Dominance,
it.
Flare, and Shadow Paladin have an amazing matchup against it.
It's just it's like talking about decks that might be affected by Fighters Collection, though. There's
I
only
feel
like 4
like
good
that
cards in
card
that thing.
is really good, but in the respect of you just break ride, snow. No.
Actually, it's really fun to play against stuff like Kagero because you can just keep bringing back your rear guards to the front row and then sending them back to the drop zone.
If anything, the biggest meta change that'll probably happen with Fighters Collection is you'll see Machine or Mega Colony at every tournament and a huge turnout of it.
Yep.
Because War Cycle's
yeah.
amazing.
Jonathan, you should tell them the story about the machining player from Chicago.
Oh,
my God.
well, actually, Blake would know. Blake knows this, but the gentleman using Mega Colony broke road, and then broke road again 4 times. Essentially, and but the thing is, he still lost. Like that was the thing that still got me. I couldn't believe it.
How?
Playing Kagero, I guess he was able to just constantly keep restanding his rear guards. That he ended up that was a Max Nugent ended up like 10th place, I think, actually. It was impressive. I mean, the deck does work when you can stop your opponent from doing stuff. I think War Sickle is actually going to be very deadly.
Yeah, we had Machining come second here with Spark Hercules Break Red.
Yeah,
And 12 crit.
the deck is definitely a thing.
By the way, Mike, while I got you here, I got 9th at the Buddy Regional, so I feel your pain.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
All right. So we've talked about that. Any other units you feel are worthwhile in the Fighters Collection? Anyone?
The fucking Daikaiser Cross Red?
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I
we
think
were all
I think we're gonna see a lot of people
Yeah.
playing that. Much as someone such
I love this.
don't think so. A triple drive check with no drawback is pretty ridiculous.
Oh, there's
That's
2
what
other
happened
things.
again.
There's,
And then you have Stride.
yeah, there's one I think actually that didn't affect Japan at all. It's going to affect us a lot too, actually. Just because of the way America is with aggro and the decks that we play that are different, I feel like Echo of Nemesis will be played a lot in America.
That's the dark irregular one,
Yeah,
right?
that's the one where you can add Garbage Grade 1s and he's huge. And then the other thing I think that's going to get played a lot is I feel like Aquaforce with that Break Ride will get played a lot because it's amazing.
Yes.
It's
Definitely.
only good if you have the restand if you're playing Petra. Otherwise, it's just kind of meh.
No, because even at normal, it's if it just attacks and it's the 4th battle, you draw 2 cards and your opponent loses a rear guard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good plus, but it's not a huge, like, changing thing unless you have a Petra and you can, you know.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's like,
I like pairing it together with Maelstrom Reverse, because then your opponent loses 2, you draw 3.
yeah,
Pluses and minuses.
and it's
It's
also a
definitely
blue
better.
And it's Blue Storm.
And it's Blue Storm.
It's definitely better for the deck than the original one in Transport.
What does the Seeker?
Well, Transcore still has his place. It's just it is definitely I like Tetra with Tetra a lot.
Actually, the problem with using you couldn't even use him with Petra. I just realized because Petra's skill, that it has to be the 2nd attack and then the 4th attack, so you'd only get that off once anyway.
All right, let's carry on. Let's talk about end of season 4. Anyone shed a tear?
I shed painful tears at how bad the ending was.
I mean, like, I feel like season 4 like started out with such promise, and then
What are you smoking?
And then it turned into season 3.5.
Well, like, why?
Congratulations.
Is promise slang for disappointment?
It's like one of those things is like you watched it and you were like, okay, this whole Quartet Night things, and you thought they were all gonna have these really.
Kai was the protagonist, and they somehow screwed it up.
Because they made him Aichi.
Pretty much.
They should have made him Kai. See, like,
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with season 4. They just kind of forgot about Psyqualia.
I forgot Psyqualia.
What's the Psyqualia?
The thing is, like,
in the third one though.
Psyqualia's been such a driving part of the anime since series 1, and I figured they would continue to develop on it.
Did you
going
watch
in,
season 3?
yeah, season 3 was the best Vanguard season next to 1 ever.
There was
made.
no Psyqualia in it.
Yes, there
No,
was.
but
Yeah, there was. Psyqualia was in 3.
Occasionally.
With when?
Leon
The,
and
the
Ren
entire
both
point of
using
how
it.
Aichi didn't even get reversed was because of Cyqualia.
Yeah.
Yeah, just didn't harp on
Like,
it.
he would have gotten reversed
Uh,
if not because of Cyqualia.
It wasn't Cyqualia. They explained it as his link to Cray allowed him to be saved from it, I think, right?
Yeah,
No, but he had to
Leon actually
activate it
said
with
activate
Yeah,
Cyqualia.
that's
He's
quality allowed him to
they're top
activate it.
decking like a mother. He's just simply getting a not reversed card, get out of jail free card.
So, can we talk about the quadruple, same crit?
Yeah, right. And did anyone else notice how all 4 of those crits were tars, and yet
Same
like
card.
zone there was like 2 of them in there?
Yeah.
Dude had 6 copies of tar. That's unacceptable.
That's the power. That's the power of friendship, there,
You
guys.
called that a
Judge,
plot
can we get a
hole,
deck list on
kids.
this guy?
Guys just
Someone
running like
talked about
30
that.
tars.
There was a really good joke with Aichi and Walfred, and it's like, or no, it was MLB, because they're like in the tournament, and they're playing in the middle of a tournament, and all of a sudden Aichi goes to Rai, and he top decks MLB. They're like, so did we not submit deck lists for this tournament, or this guy just made a card.
Overall, though, season
ITTT.
5. Did anyone watch the beginning of season 5?
No, I've been working all
I
weekend,
obviously
sadly.
I did.
Because I had to do a discussion.
Watch it. Go watch it. All the animation budget.
Robbie?
G was amazing. The best
Alright.
Vanguard animation to date.
It
Thank
really
you,
was.
Robbie.
Robert?
Everyone else
did you
hates
watch
it.
I like it.
I like how my boy Kamui's getting much love this season
What?
already.
One more thing about this season that no one really caught on, but it's more slice of life than the previous animes, I would say, because if you really look at the outro, you can see how they put a lot more time and effort into actually showing scenery from Japan, and the story itself seems like it's more down to earth than previous generations.
The only quarrel I had with the first episode is the fact that they didn't like show them doing the moves of the turn. They just like magically appeared and rode, and then they're like the creatures would
Yeah,
fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was great because we didn't have to learn how to play Vanguard for the sixth time.
I agree with that, but I hope the whole season doesn't skip parts like that.
Guys, how do I guard again? I don't remember.
You're
Wait,
lying.
hey,
I thought it was more of like the manga, because the manga did that too. They did the first episode with just like vanillas beat the shit out of each other kind of thing. But I don't know how he did the 3 damage with his Vanguard in that one turn.
it has a stride, break ride thing, majig. Stride ride, whatever it's called.
Did they do that in the first episode?
Yeah, but they didn't
Yeah.
explain it. They didn't
Yeah,
explain it at all.
He used Stride, and I think he got double crit for 3 damage.
Also, was it just me, or was Kamui grade locked?
No, he wasn't gridlocked. He got the 3. He just didn't stride.
Yeah.
Are they actually
You don't
going
wanna
to
give away all
use G assist?
Did
Well,
anybody,
no, Huh?
did anybody see the Aichi cameo at the last second?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Kamui wasn't even using his own deck. He grabbed a trial deck, if you saw.
Yeah, that's going to be the full
Okay.
trial deck that comes out in the second set of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't just remember what they're called now. Mecha Battlers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like, cause he owns the shop. He like is the manager of the shop or whatever. So
Well,
when
he's
the
the-
guy comes,
But-
when the guy came in to challenge him, Kamui just picked out of a basket of decks, and it was trial decks. So he didn't use his own deck. So we don't know what his series is or what sub clan he's using.
All right.
I feel like he may be using the same thing, just like a full deck of it.
Well, hold on, Blake. You as the Nova Grappler player, what do you want him to use?
That thing was cool.
Advisors? You want him to use?
The Mecha Battlers were cool, but I honestly, if you watch the preview for next episode, it looks like he's still carrying around Perfect Riser.
Do you think
So-
Perfect Riser will get a Legion mate?
I don't know, because they're going in the strides, but I did see a Perfect Riser in his hand, so who knows? We have to wait and see.
Perfect stride.
Perfect stride. All right, and then Aichi appeared at the very end. No interaction, right? You didn't give him a card like
No.
you in whatchamacallit?
He didn't even say anything. He just like, oh hey, it's Aichi. He's there.
Oh, I don't know if it's fake or not, but apparently the manga for the first issue of G, when Chrono's given the thing, the card that he's given with the instructions of where to go is written on the back of an MLB card. So people think Aichi
I
gave
did
him the
see
deck.
that too.
So do we just assume that Aichi gave him the deck in the anime as well, or do we think it's Ibuki that gave it to him?
I think it's Aichi.
Uh,
Your Chronicle, though?
Yes.
To be fair, this because it's 5 years in the future, Aichi could be doing whatever. I feel like Aichi can be the Yugimoto. He can give him the Wing Karibo. He can
Aichi just became God.
What was that, Robbie?
That Aichi just became God. It kind of makes sense.
He always was. The
I
top
mean,
tech was real.
He built a
He
base on a
created-
moon. What the hell do you call that?
Created a goddamn sanctuary with his brain. That's pretty creation power there.
Actually, that's something else that kind of really pissed me off about the beginning seasons of Vanguard. You know, they always talk about the world-class fighters and how Diego was like one of the best in the world, but Diego only makes like 2 cameos in the entire anime. And now that we've time shifted 5 years, will he even make another
Daigo.
You
appearance?
mean Daigo?
You mean Daigo?
I was like, that's Diego.
Dora the Explorer
He's the
character.
battle from
Daigo
down
won't
under
be
there.
He won't have aged a day. He's just gonna magically appear. He's gonna
Why
mess shit
not?
up.
I mean, like, actually, it should be
Daigo.
funny to have him
He will
pop.
magically appear and give us a 10k Royal Paladin booster finally.
Right? What you don't realize is Daigo was actually found the fountain of youth, and that's why he never ages.
Which can be found in the Zoo Nation.
Yes.
I'm sure Daigo will have a cameo. He'll have some like random Royal Paladin break or limit break card. It'll shoot up to $20 and then no one will play it.
Pretty much.
That's what Daigo's purpose is.
All the Psyqualia is in him now.
He's
That's
got
what I
a Jewel Knight Legion that looks just like him.
This is true.
Oh right. Okay, maybe he'll play that.
Yeah.
I'm playing it, let's put it that way.
Are you Daigo?
All right. Well, while we're on the discussion of new season, new mechanics, new things. Who's excited for G Assist?
I want to learn a little bit more about him. I don't think we have enough information.
Well,
Yeah.
the ability not to be grade locked.
I'm just
We know about
No,
that.
you can still get grade locked, it's just much less of a chance.
I feel like running less grade 3s and running like 8 draw triggers in a deck now.
Why?
Because it's less
Why
like
purposely grade lock yourself? Why give up 2 of your stride units?
yeah, well, okay. I don't know. I'm just saying like I feel like you'll see a lot more draw like the played in decks now, just to equal out the ability to like be grade stuck, losing 2 cards.
I figure more people will run more grade 3, so you'll have more chances just -1 for stride versus having a -2 or -3. So we'll probably see a norm switch from 14-11-8, probably more to a 13-11-9 in terms of deck build.
Has no one just realized that Commander Laurel and every generic
Yeah.
stride ever is fucking
Works,
dumb?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
36k triple drive for
I was
Common
about- I was
West 1 that
about
can
to say
restand.
that.
Yes.
Wait. I got a combo for you. You know how the generic stride ones take the name? They take the same name as the heart or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
If you do it over if you do it over anything with Bayusha in the name, you could use Go Cannon to give it an extra crit.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Try drive extra crit. Laurel, let's go.
See, I don't like Jonathan talking about this in the live stream because now my strategies for area are just going to be gone once Stride's in. Everyone's going to expect it.
No, we only have
There is no strategy in area. What? You play nothing but noobs that don't know how to play the game for hours on end.
This guy today, oh my god, this person I played against today, he tried to guard with 5 on a 10 pass and then told me I was wrong when I no passed him.
My
Yeah,
opponent-
And then he quit.
My opponent tried to ride Mordred at 1.
Seems legit. Seems
My
legit.
opponent also tried to ride Dragonic Overlord on top of Transcendence Novel Veg last night.
My
Oh
opponent
no!
That's funny.
I can
my
ride
opponent
down,
searched
right?
through My opponent told me, don't attack. He searched through his deck, put a heal trigger on top, and goes, okay, you can attack now.
Why didn't I think of that?
That's actually sick. Why don't we do that?
This is actually one of the problems that is wrong with the Vanguard community. And I was talking to Jonathan about this before. Like, we always want to improve the community in general, but having such a terrible player base, like, unfortunately, Vanguard is known for having the whiners of Yu-Gi-Oh! The majority of the player base that couldn't handle Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the way that it was going ended up going to Vanguard. And that name still lingers amongst a lot of the people. And I mean, it's not like it doesn't hold true to the player base. But the biggest problem is, like, there's no direct connection between any of the communities whatsoever. And until that we can build some kind of network to, like, grow the community, like, I think we're still going to be stuck with the whiners of Yu-Gi-Oh! Suffix somewhere along the way.
Well, here's the thing. I quit Yu-Gi-Oh to play Vanguard. I don't feel like I'm a whiner. I feel like.
Well, hold on.
I feel like the thing that what people don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh is, oh, the cards got really expensive and then they reprinted it. Then they come to Vanguard and they go, oh, it's super cheap. Like I only have to pay $5 for a perfect card. And then all of a sudden the cards hit $30 and you hear there's so much bitching, and I don't care who's watching right now, about, oh, the cards are so expensive. Go play another card game. Tell me where you're not going to spend money on a card game.
Go play Magic. Tell me about
expensive.
expensive.
Go play Magic. Go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, for crying out loud, at times can be expensive. Like, all card games get expensive. Like, I don't understand why people just don't get this.
And an interesting conversation of cards being expensive. Me and Robbie are having a sub-conversation here about cards I need. I'm about to spend $35 a piece on rares.
We should talk about the best Yu-Gi-Oh card ever to be made today.
The best Yu-Gi-Oh card on a Vanguard podcast?
No, you read the name already, Jonathan.
What's it?
You read the name.
Lost Tools, Japanese or German name or whatever.
I'm not feeding
Are you talking about the cunt shafter?
Yeah, cunt shafter.
I've been trying to avoid that, so.
You can't avoid it.
No, I'm gonna avoid it.
Kids, don't repeat what we say here at home.
I actually really dislike one thing about Vanguard, and it's the fact that we don't have foreign cards in this game.
Well, we're going to.
You just can't use them.
In the big league tournaments.
No, there's only Japanese and English.
No, there's
German cards.
Multi, okay.
There's Korean.
And there's Thai.
Yeah,
I have no idea how well those cards are.
It'd be hella cool to have German stuff to play, you know.
I got a Korean rate that you should in my binder.
I want to get back on task here, and then because Robbie brought up something that will be the next topic, but we kind of discussed G-Assist. Let's go back to on this, and we've already talked about some interesting combos, but we've seen elementals, which are kind of like vanillas to a degree. The one from the movie, Messiah. Sorry, that was it. That was Messiah. Seen that one, very vanilla. What do we expect each individual clan to get their kind of their own unique stride units? You think?
Yeah, I feel like every clan's gonna have theirs, and they're probably gonna be an augment of whatever their clan does. It seems like Gear Chronicles are probably gonna be about bouncing their opponent's cards to the bottom of the deck.
Yep, that's exactly what it. From one of the cards I've read, all of them have something to do with taking cards on the rear guard circles and throw them to the bottom.
Yeah, which makes sense. It's like reversing time on the field. I feel like the Royal one will probably like just nuke something, or like probably destroy something.
Now Royals, I think, will call out something from the deck where Kagero's going to nuke something.
Royals will probably nuke and call in some sort of balance effect between the two.
Yeah, something like that.
Kind of. Well, Royal Paladin, like, let's just say for a second, it ends up being like Reverse Ashley, where it retires and calls. Would that? I feel that would be really good, actually, considering. Like, if you're doing Seeker, Counterblast with Blaster Blade, Seeker, get rid of another unit.
Oh, that was something I actually wanted to mention, because they said that it gains the name and everything, right?
Yeah.
Does it... Oh, I forgot
Effect
what
was
it
the only
was.
thing that I don't think it actually got. It
It didn't get the effects, but there was something that...
the power.
Gets the name and the power, man.
Right.
Oh, okay, I remember what it was. Someone was talking about the fact that you could force them to not go back to the stride zone.
What?
Because you could make them something that you could ride over. Because like you could make them
Okay.
like you could make them a Dairobo and then use Goyusha.
No, there's a specific ruling against that. They've already discussed this, because if you ride on top of a stride unit, it returns back to the extra deck.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
'cause
read this
I
already.
thought they went over that because somebody brought it up with Pellinor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Let me just Pellinor over my stride.
You know, if you already swung with the stride, you might as well.
Technically, those strides are grade 4s. Would you be able to do that?
Yeah, because
Well,
it's
remember, Pellinor is place
Yeah.
and effect override that.
because it takes on its properties. I think. I don't think it takes on the grade 4 aspect. I think it takes
Oh,
on
it
the
does.
name.
I'm pretty sure.
But even still, it's an effect. Like, I don't know if that would be.
Why could you not superior call a grade 3 when you're a grade 2? Same exact logic.
Yeah, also the fact Pelennor isn't a ride. He's just
it's a
places
place
himself
on
in the
Vanguard.
Vanguard circle.
Interesting. Food for thought.
Why
Back
would
to
you want to keep it in the soul anyway?
what's that?
Why would you want to keep the stride unit in the soul anyway, just for fodder?
Yeah, like it was just like a weird thing that was like you could do it, it'd be funny.
Yeah, I want my stride back in my extra deck so I can do other shenanigans.
Because generation break.
Yeah.
Like banish after that or something.
The
We don't know
example,
much
I think, was if you could get it, if you could force it into Soul, and then be playing Pale Moon and force it onto Rearguard. That was the example that was talking about it. Was like if you do that, or get it in Grave with Soul Blasting and call it out with Grand Blue because it counts as all nations. Those were the things that we were talking about with it.
I have a question about Generation Break. How many generation breaks are for the cost? Say you generally there's like 1 or 2. How many do you think will be like the max? Like how there's people say Counterblast 3 is like a really good skill for like the current meta, or like Counterblast 2. Do you think it'd be easy to get
like
unflipped in the side deck?
Yeah, probably like 4 or 5, I would say, for like an multi-break type thing.
Half of them. So yeah.
If we get any sort of effects that allow us to actually flip them over, I could maybe see like a 7 or 8 and just like max it out. But you would need something that would accelerate that faster, because there'd be no way in hell the game would last that many turns for you to flip.
You have no reason not to max out on it. Let's be realistic here, because you're probably going to burn 2 if you have to G-assist twice. That puts you down to 4 automatically. It's the same reason as not playing a 15-card extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, why would you not do it?
Yeah, like why would you not just, especially with there being at least 2 generics, there's at least the ability to run 8 right there.
To answer a question I thought I just heard, a really good skill for a stride unit in the current format would be Counterblast 2, discard 4 cards, restand it.
Yeah, because that would be enough.
Already got it.
Yeah, that would be enough to restand it.
One more than its drive check and 2 counterblast. Yeah, with that, it would have to have at least a generation break of 2 or 3 at that point too, to be able to.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't want you to like just friggin' man mode the win on like turn 3. Like,
well, I mean, you're already gonna have to discard 1 card to stride, so you're gonna have at least 5 cards to really, or at least an extra card to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Stride, I feel like people are going to...
Alright, let's go back to something Robbie brought up, and it is on the agenda. The Vanguard community itself, like the state of where we're at, like... I mean, we kind of talked about how we're the whiners of the banned Yu-Gi-Oh players, but maybe more so like where, like, is the community itself killing this game is what I want to know. Like that's how I feel sometimes.
I think it's the lack of accessibility more than anything.
Well, like, okay, so our locals, and Tommy and Blake can speak for this. When the game first came out, we had great locals. You're talking 10, 20 players easily. Like, if I were to go to locals tomorrow night, we'd maybe get 2 people. And you can't just blame that, oh, it's winter and kids are back at school. Like, there's no reason tournaments shouldn't be launching if people like this game. Like,
yeah.
On a weekly basis. Like, maybe every once in a while, it doesn't happen. But, like, I couldn't go to a locals and get anything launched. Like, like, if it was Magic.
I feel the big thing about it is that there's such limited larger tournament support that not a lot of people feel that they want to invest fully into the game because there's not enough events to where they can get that return. While locals are a great thing to play at and things like that, they only go so far as you play the same people week after week after week. It eventually gets boring, even with switching up decks, things like that. Having larger tournaments, or like you were saying, our community, we have the King of Card Fight. Even though they're not really larger tournaments, you're still looking at 40+ players. It still gives you a more variety of people to play, more decks. You kind of see a better return on your investment of your entertainment, not just obviously the investment of the money.
I think you're missing. I think you're missing something really major here. You forget every set changes the game so dramatically, and it makes investing in this game so trash. because you can buy Dauntless Drive Dragons for.
I never meant investing with money. That's to be
I
expected.
know, but that's one of the most important aspects to the game, though, is that investment. Because you say you're trying to get your investment back out of the game, but what if I want to sell my deck after the tournament and the next set's already out? I've already lost my value. It's the exact same reasoning behind your, lack of major tournaments. And honestly, it's both things that are killing this game. It's the fact that we don't have major tournament support the way that we should. I mean, regionals should be happening at least once every 3 months in every region. There's no reason why it shouldn't be a thing. And to top things off, the game changes so much every 2 to 3 months that it's disgusting. Like right now, Glendios is supposed to be one of the best decks. You know what? A month from now, we're going to have a new Tier 1 deck. And that's not exactly good.
It's also the fact that Bushier is trying to catch us up. They're throwing so much at us so quickly.
I don't think they could have caught us up at a much quicker rate. I don't think they did it the way that they should have done it.
Well, and the biggest thing too. That'll be another subject. Look at November. Look how much product we're getting. Like, whose wallet can handle that?
Yours.
Yeah, I have limits.
If they wanted to catch us up to where we should have been, they should have combined 16 and 17 into one mega set.
Yeah.
And we would have been caught up in January, honestly, but they chose not to do that for some reason. Because honestly, that would have made a lot of good money cards coming out of 16, 17, having it be a combined dual set that way.
Oh my god.
And I think that would have kept some interest in the game, at least in terms of money value. But
the format, alone, for that period, all decks are good.
Jonathan likes this idea because it means earlier Musketeers.
I play the online
Bring
format.
Bring back what?
Henry Vanguard.
My D-Robo. And
also I think another thing that hurts locals is we get these crappy promo packs. I don't think there's great prize support either. The thing with any card game, you go to win packs, you crack the packs, you sell the singles. Or you go and you get the packs, trade them in for store credit, and buy singles. You go to a locals, you get maybe 5 or 6 packs, you don't even want them because about the time you open them, like you've already said, the new set's out, the cards are worthless, there's no incentive. And then the promo cards have maybe 6 cards?
Yeah, 8, I think, right?
8 promo cards. 2 of them might be worth trying to get, and not even the foil half the time. The foil, Turbulence Dragon?
That's definitely a good example.
That's
definitely a good example, because that promo pack had Dusttail Unicorn and Darmweed in it, and Dark Bond.
And they couldn't have any of them.
Those are the 3 good
cards. They do that crappy-ass card. And then now in the newest set, I don't know what the Hollow is. It's the Royal Paladin or Gold Paladin?
Yeah, I think it's the Royal. I think it's the Soul Blast Draw, isn't it?
Now they're fucking Paladins. Excuse my French. I'm so tired of the Paladins.
At least we got Metis finally and got some actual Fighters Collection 13.
Yeah, well, okay, 1 card out of the possible how many we have yet to receive.
You got Sylvie, right? Sylvist? No, Pansy.
The only thing I can see them doing is combining those cards somewhere down the line as a reprint in these bigger sets these sets that they're doing now. I just don't see them.
I feel like Robbie's pulling out his binder of promos here to look at how garbage the promos are.
No, I've got so many you don't even want to talk to me about that.
But does anyone else agree with just generally going to your locals and getting a prize a promo pack isn't even worth opening? I'd rather just sell it on eBay.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I usually trade in my packs for store credit.
Let me talk
about that for a minute. Here. Do you mind if I talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Just the local scene. It is actually a fairly big problem. I do agree with Robbie on the whole packs being essentially worthless as soon as the next set hits. 90% of the cards are completely devalued. But a lot of locals are terrible. I really shouldn't be saying this on a live stream, but the one I go to.
Viewers, don't worry.
Well, the one I go to, the price support is just ridiculously bad. And, we have good people there. We've got great judge, good group, but half the time people just don't show, or some people show and just won't play because they're going to put, our locals charges $5. You get a promo pack for entering, no pity pack, and then that $5 puts one pack entry in the top 4 slot.
The only thing that I've heard good out of Chicago was Bridgeport, and that's it.
But the funny thing about Bridgeport, they're the oddity. They have the whole store revolves around Vanguard, like, and maybe it's because they are in Chicago and they are the ability to have so many people go to their tournaments. But like even still, like when the set gets stale, they jump back to Yu-Gi-Oh, or they jump back to Magic, or like, and then like you said, a new set will come out, everyone plays for a while, and then it dies.
I think Top Cut only gets like 20 people, correct?
Which one?
Top Cut Comics.
I see that the one in Chicago is more Pokemon than it is Vanguard. I don't know how many people go there.
We go ahead and talk about the horror story that is like Vanguard in Canada and just in general playing in Canada and my locals and stuff. So you guys get the luxury of, even if you guys play one tournament, you guys have one fairly close to you. Also, as a Canadian player, I get one tournament.
Fine, fairly close.
And you get them spread out. I get one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast.
How far is your locals from you, Mike?
How far is my locals? My locals doesn't exist anymore, so an hour and 45 minutes.
Without playing Kagero, I wouldn't have died.
No, it's not even that. My locals died because I wasn't there, apparently. But here's how my locals went.
I think the most iconic part of that joke was the fact that you expect anything good to come to Canada.
Oh!
My feelings.
Yo, like, no offense, but that's like European Yu-Gi-Oh players bitching to us about getting a promo card that they can't use for half a year.
Dude, they get they get the mat campaign. They can't bitch. They get beautiful mats.
Yeah, if you enjoy spending, a couple $1,000s to fly across the continent size of America, like,
mats.
But
It's good enough.
that's another thing that I've been trying to tell JD, that we need a top 8 regional mat in this
does anyone
game.
think
They won't do
anyone
that.
think we're gonna-
Why? You know why they will not ever do exclusive product like that? Because Bushiroad fears secondhand sales. Because they don't want you getting something that no one else can have. They don't want anyone else making money off of the exclusive product. Like, it is ridiculous that they have this mentality of, oh, the judges get the same shit
I'll
as
sell a
everyone.
trophy. You won't stop me.
Actually,
Like, when we were out at West Coast, the trophy that they gave the second place team fucking broke on them before they even got off the fucking ship.
Really?
Broke on them just putting their cards in.
It fell to pieces. And then what are you gonna do? I need a new trophy. Like, don't have one for you.
actually, serious question here. Did they allow custom playmats in Tennessee?
They did.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Okay,
Bushiroad's
why we're
gotten
on
over
that?
that.
Because
They had there was an issue with that in Canada. It was funny.
I played on the 2XC mat I got from
every local or every tournament, and this is how Christian and JD have both worded it now, and I've asked because I've been to California and the championship, ask your opponent if you're allowed to use the mat. They will not make an issue out of it unless your opponent makes an issue out of it. So when you go, hi sir, I'm playing you. May I use my custom mat? Yes, you may. Perfect. Can I use my custom mat? No. By all means, let me put that shit away so I can play you without getting disqualified. People, fucking think for a fucking minute.
So what happened here is someone got DC or DQ'd in the tournament. And
Wait. Game loss or DQ? Two totally different things.
No, they got DQ'd. I said DC'd at first.
Actual disqualification.
Yeah, they got.
They could have had breast and pussy on it because that's the only way that they should have gotten disqualified.
No, so apparently what happened was the reason why the kid was lying, apparently. But he had gone up and asked the head judge at the start of the tournament, can he use a custom Vanguard mat? They said yes. And then apparently when, I guess not the head judge, but I guess the Bushiroad rep had saw it, he made a deal about it. And when the player had said, oh, I asked the head judge about it before, he said it was fine. They're like, no, that never happened, you're lying. So he apparently got disqualified for lying.
Wow.
But we know the person, and he asked the head judge, apparently.
Can we talk about how 30% of the judge staff for Bushiroad is very unprofessional and uneducated?
Oh, they're all volunteers.
Yep.
There was 3 judges in Canada that had never played Vanguard.
I know a number of them. Not even just. I know a number.
some of the most horrid rulings at Chicago be given by some really people I've never seen before, and I was just like, I'm just horrified. I
I'm
also
not gonna
saw
lie,
a
the
bunch of
judge
judges
staff
that were.
at Chicago was fairly inadequate, to say the least.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the lack of unprofessionalism that is present. Like, then again, JD has assured me that, you know, he's going to start doing judge emails and things like that, and he's going to reinforce the judge staff.
Well,
a bit
they
more,
they implemented the test.
God, that
Supposedly
test
they're
was
doing a
stupid.
program.
It was
Tell
great,
you,
but it was stupid.
right? They have it. They're working on a program now. When I say working, I don't. You know, Bushiroad does this one thing where we're like, oh, we're gonna announce something, but then we're gonna screw up all the details. I.e., Tennessee.
Zero.
They told everyone. Yeah, round zero. They told everyone in Tennessee this past weekend the championship, the Continental Championship, was November 22nd. Does anyone know what's wrong with that statement?
It's the 23rd. That's the Sunday.
Then, when I asked the sub-head judge, I will not name names, why they said that, that's because that's the day of the event. Now, knowing this, I'm sitting here going, your entire website, your entire marketing campaign has said the 23rd, which is a Sunday. So they are mistaken on so many levels on their own.
Hold on. Is it the Saturday or is it the Sunday? Because I need to know, because I need that day off.
It's
I
the
actually need to know that.
23rd. It's November 23rd. It's a Sunday.
I'm just checking.
I will send you photos from their website because I'm writing Bushiroad saying that their staff has informed an entire group, about 120 plus people, that the championship was on the wrong day.
So that reminds me, can we talk about the whole travesty with the Buddy Fight and Weiss things where they screwed up and
Well, we're not going to talk about that on here, but I definitely want to make it known that, again, their own staff has been screwing up this entire campaign season. And for those of you who don't know, they've been issuing the top 4 for Buddy Fight and Wise, top 4 invites. Nothing wrong with that, right? First and second, right? Like, everyone knows this?
Mm-hmm.
They then say, after they've been doing this for the entire season, Tennessee was one of the last ones, top 2 only get invites, and first place only gets paid travel. Second and third second, third, and fourth. Well, technically only second got the invite, and third and fourth get nothing. They announced this in Tennessee.
After 9 people in Toronto, and
invites left and right.
5 people didn't get anything.
So I don't understand what the harm though is inviting third and fourth. One, because they have to pay their own way. If they show up, awesome. Thank you for coming. You get to play.
Considering the low numbers of Buddy Fight, what do we have, like 30 people?
I feel like you'd have 12.
But that's not that bad. Chicago was like 50, and some other places were hardly that. Like, at one time there was more Buddy Fight players than Weiss registered, and then they got a flux. Anywho, I just think, like, Bushiroad across the board needs to get on track. Like, they need to, like, stop acting like there's some college frat kids throwing a rager and start acting like a major company that wants people to play their game. And you just don't see that right now. I feel like, especially with Buddy Fight, every other day there's a different ruling coming out of how to play the game. And that's not right. Like, that's not right at all. Like, you don't see Konami going, timing is this. Like, eventually the rulings are set after the set gets released. But not like a year after the set's been out are they changing the rules. Like, the rules, not a card rule, rules. And that's the problem right there in a nutshell. Like, get your shit in gear and start actually acting like a company.
Well, okay, so I assume you guys have, like, legitimate locals, right? Like,
no.
Well, like, to the point you have a store that
we have one in our area, pretty much, or
like,
one or
it's
two.
a thing, though, right? Like, it has promo packs and everything? Because you guys want to hear the horror story of my 2 locals?
I have one, but it's an hour. It's at least an hour and a half from me.
Okay, so
do you go to locals?
I went, and I had to judge the last couple of times.
No, but Robbie, do you go to locals?
My locals is an hour and 20 minutes away if I want to play Vanguard with more than 4 people.
Okay. So I have one locals that used to be really good. It used to have about, and I say really good, our highest locals, we used to have about 12 every time, which was fine. We didn't have Bushiroad official, but we just got like packs and stuff, like product for entering, whatever. I think it was $3 to enter the tournament, and top 4 all got at least something. And what happened recently is a lot of the people wanted to go to a different store in our area. Fine, whatever. And it was fine for a while. but now we've hit this point at my locals where we have about, and before we only had about 8 of us, but now we have about 15 people, but so many of them are unwilling to pay into the tournament, so we just haven't done actual tournaments. So it's like driving half an hour to just play for fun. It's like, why wouldn't I just go on area and play the new decks that I like?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't even have a locals anymore because they're unwilling to pay because they don't like the new cards. So they're playing like set 14 stuff still and before. Not even like Minerva, like bad set 14 and before stuff. Like, there's a Bermuda player, he doesn't play duos or anything. He doesn't play Pacifica. He plays, like, Coral without the new grade 3.
Why?
Like, we have a guy still playing MLB who doesn't have all his MLBs. He doesn't have, like, Palomides or anything. And then you have, like, me, my friend who came 30th in Toronto, and stuff like that. It's like, it's not even...
They refuse to invest into the game.
It's not even that they refuse to invest. That's what pisses me off. Like, when a new set comes out that they want, they'll go buy a bunch of boxes to get their stuff.
Stupid. Buy the shit you need.
They won't put in $3 to play an actual tournament.
They only charge you
What your store should do, honestly,
we don't have Bushiroad official. We don't have promo packs at all because
what your store should do, when they have something like that, they should just host free tournaments and the prize is a promo pack. Now, if you don't have promo packs, make them get like a pack and something else. Just give them a random pack away. But at least they're at least getting something to launch to at least get people curious and then go, okay, if you want to play, pay the $5 and then we'll have an actual tournament with prizes.
By the way, as long as we're talking about tourneys, do you guys think the ARG series for Vanguard will get going?
Oh, actually, Robbie wanted to bring that up, and I was going to bring that up under new business, but we can talk about it now since
the first ARG Columbus that we had 2 years ago was phenomenal. We had 45 people. I mean, Columbus, Ohio is a very big epicenter for it, but it just kind of died off because once again, in the community is a thing, you know?
Well, and do you feel ARG, though, had a lot to do with that? Like them themselves?
Yes and no, but it's still kind of the community's fault for not posting and supporting it. I mean, like, we have both groups here present. Like, we're the biggest entities on Facebook for Vanguard. I mean, this is the kind of shit that we need to be supporting, and we need to not be dumb about it, you know? Because, once again, it's kind of our fault if something dies off that's ours, you know?
Yeah,
that's why ARG Chicago's been pinned on North America for a couple weeks now.
Actually, here's the Dick Tease company for me.
Best part about it was Jim has been in the Vanguardians for probably a year and a half, and he just found out today that he's a member of it. He's like, oh, well, if I knew that, I would have put it there, too.
Well, so this past January, they had an ARG event in Indianapolis, and I went. They had only 25 people show up for Vanguard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Had maybe 50, 60, and then they had Kaijudo, which I think was like 5 people. The thing is, the ARG people did not care whatsoever about the Vanguard people. Like, it was very like, oh, are you here for Yu-Gi-Oh? No, I'm here for Vanguard. Oh, go wait over there in the corner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was very like, you're just doing this to get extra butts and seats and not really caring about the player base. Because, again, 25 people in January, we're talking like set 11. There was a little bit of set 11, 10, I think it was. There's a little bit of a break, like, but still.
I consider 25 people really good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but like they're offering 500 for what was the Tommy? Do you remember the price support?
This time around, it's like 550.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more. Like, people should be showing up.
Look it up.
In Indianapolis. There should have been more people from Chicago. Or here's an idea: don't host it in Indianapolis. Host it in Chicago, because Chicago, you're going to get 25 plus more people, especially with a community like Bridgeport that automatically gets 25 people. Like,
550 total prize credit. First place gets 200, second place gets 100, third and fourth gets 75, and fifth through 8 gets 25. And if more than 40 players show up, they'll pay out in cash.
Here's my favorite part of the whole ARG thing: best 2 out of 3.
Oh, definitely.
That is the best part.
I hate that one.
I will go to every ARG event.
Jonathan, serious question. Do you think we can get 50, 60, maybe even 70 to show up to ARG in Chicago?
You know, no, I don't think we can, because there's a group of Vanguard players who quit right after this regional who complained about the Legion meta. So they're
You get that
bitching
in
about a
Virginia.
meta that they haven't played in. They refuse to acknowledge it. And now that ARG is going to be out with that, I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to see a lot of people that'll be there with Legion decks, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing.
We're going to have to talk about those
Embrace
people later.
the
'Cause I
change.
want to know who you're
Robbie,
talking about, but we'll save that
might
for
remember
later.
this.
I got a quick question for Robbie, actually.
Yeah.
You.
Listening.
In Richmond, Virginia, did they do a Yu-Gi-Oh! ARG a while back? I remember something about that.
Believe so, yes.
They should do I'm sorry if I'm harping on this, but they really should do a Vanguard one there. There's actually quite a few surrounding communities. There's 20-something.
The thing is, there's no revenue to do just a Vanguard event. They need to pair it with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event, which is perfectly fine, to be honest with you. But, I mean, I believe in Jim. I'm pretty sure he can make this a success this time around, you know? I'm not too worried about it. It's just like...
Who runs the events, Robbie? Is it him himself?
I mean, he just hired a new employee to handle it, if I recall right. He said today he paid an employee to learn how to play the game and handle everything. So, I mean,
contact him. Like honestly, like there's a lot that they could do, and they just don't know how to do it. I think for the Vanguard community.
Yes and no. Once again, though, it kind of is, you know, we're not giving him input to really kind of do things, kind of thing, you know.
No.
And I think that's one of our problems. I mean, like, hell, even the King of Card fight's been touch and go, you know.
Yep.
So,
we need a better network of communication.
Once again, though, that's part of the community's fault. We don't have the network present to really do it, you know.
I don't know. I feel like like things like this helps.
The topic
Oh, of course.
ARG has driven me nuts twice so far.
Like in what respect?
Okay, so a while ago they announced, I think it was when they first started doing ARG tournaments, I think it was like one of the 6 ones they announced was a Toronto ARG. They super hyped it, they put it everywhere, and then like all my friends booked it off work and everything, and then gone. There was no mention of it again, it was just vanished. And then I think it was like 6 months later, reposted it, Toronto ARG, different time and everything, different month, we booked it off again, and it just vanished again. Both times they had a full schedule. They announced that it was going to have Vanguard and everything. We were all super excited, and then both times it got cut.
Well, that's what I mean. Like when I said that earlier, Robbie. Like I mean, like are these are they overdoing themselves? Are they overextending themselves? Like I would love to see them take off because they're a national thing that could work and help this community.
Yeah, but if they're not willing to put in the work, what the hell's the point? If they're going to hype up everything and say they're going to do it and then back out at the last second.
As far as I know, the only one that's happened to is Toronto, and apparently there was some legal thing that happened the first time, and the second time I think the actual location something messed up.
You've got to remember, like, they're only a licensed vendor in the U.S.
Yeah, I think that was actually part of the problem the first time, and then I think the second time they had the okay, but something happened with the location, and they said they were going to redo it they were going to reschedule it, but I just haven't heard anything from it since.
Once again, that's not ARG's fault. That's just bullshit.
No, I'm not harping on ARG, and I don't think anyone is. I think what they're doing is wonderful. Like, let's get it to work. Like, let's get this across the country to work because what is it, $25 to buy in, Tommy? And you get 5 packs?
20.
$20 and you get 5 packs plus.
And you do get 5 packs,
reminds
which
me
I
of
read that and I was like, oh, well, this actually makes it kind of worth it.
If I recall correctly, you could pick your packs that you wanted at the first
You could trade in
ARG
3.
event.
That
Yeah,
would
you
be
could trade in 3.
For different packs. I remember you did that for set 5 and put a video about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You pulled MLB because you're broken. You pulled MLB and I think the end in the same video.
I feel like we need them to become the parallel of the unofficial terms they have in Japan.
I will probably be at Chicago.
ARG?
Yes.
Bring people with you.
I've got
but
it off because I work retail, and that's of course on Black Friday weekend, so I'm working on that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think might actually hurt this is the fact that it is on Black Friday and Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, it is Sunday though, so I mean it is later on.
Once again, though, people still want to be with their
Thanksgiving
families.
is on the 27th,
Yeah.
so that's the weekend before.
No, it's the weekend of. It's
Yeah,
on
the
November
weekend of.
30th. So 27th Thanksgiving, 28th is that Friday, 29th is Saturday, and the 30th is the Sunday.
Oh, it's the 30th. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the championship for Chicago. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking about skipping the championship, to be honest with you.
Well, unless there's a last-minute qualifier. I mean.
The thing that killed me about Bushiroad, and once again I bitched to JD about it, if you're gonna have nationals, why would you just not fucking hype it up with a lot of cool shit? Like, I mean, they brought the token generation thing to fucking only the Thank You Festival, but shouldn't the Thank You Festival be your fucking nationals? Like, I don't understand that, because you should be putting a special emphasis on nationals and not other things. That's what I don't understand.
Well, the thing, and I've said this to a lot of people. First year they did it, they had a last chance qualifier for the nationals. We're at the town they had it. Second year they did it, had a national or last chance qualifier. This year, no last chance qualifier, and now they're throwing together these couple of little side events, like these, like, oh, come meet the artist of this card, or go, like you can play for a mat. I think it was what I read.
Hey, those are important. We get to meet the artist of our Queen Elk.
Who
Just
can
saying.
send them? Like,
Yo, Jonathan, don't lie. You put your pants too.
There's no incentive for anyone to travel to the World's Championship or the Continental Championship. Okay? There's
other than just to say that they went.
If you had a last chance qualifier, people would be coming here and staying here and creating revenue for the city. One, well, why wouldn't you?
I went to Nats.
Two, why wouldn't you want to have like enlist all this shit in advance? Like, why are they waiting? It's less than a month out. Why are you waiting to tell people what you're having at your event? Tell people everything you have from start to finish, so that way people can be there like it was like an anime convention, or if it was like something on those lines, because then they will show up in droves. And they'll go, I am here to play Vanguard for a free mat.
Does anyone, this is kind of like a pet peeve of mine, but does anyone else hate when Bushiroad has on their website, like, for the English site, list of events, and they constantly list Singapore events?
Yes.
Because it's like, I guess it's English, but like it's on the other side.
It is, because that's the thing.
Their main branch was in Singapore for so
right,
long.
Right. It's not the U.S. edition. It's the English edition. Thus, we share with Singapore. That's just they would have to make a quote unquote U.S. website or a U.S. edition of the game.
I don't know, just pet peeve of mine. It just bugs me.
Well, and that in our background currently on the Vanguard website is the new season, which we haven't even really got into season 4 yet. They just changed that all on us.
Season 3 hasn't even officially ended yet.
Yeah, this season hasn't even started. I don't think, has it?
No, season 4 is not. He's like we're one episode away.
So it's not completed yet in the dub?
So yeah, the dub is so
Next
bad.
episode will be the last one.
All
While
right.
we're talking about Bushi tourneys, can we talk about their horrifying timing?
Their timing, the 20-minute rounds.
Don't get me started on 20-minute rounds.
Two of you
For the love of God, do not get me started on 20-minute rounds.
Tommy, and I was the judge of your match, and I feel really bad that I had to do that. But
Oh, I know. You did your job. I'm not mad at you, John. You did your job.
I know, buddy. But tell them what happened and tell them the scenario for you. You were screwed more than John, actually, in my opinion.
So first of all, the match got stalled really, really hard to begin with because every time I tried to get finally to 4 damage, I'm playing stand ruler, by the way. So let's get that out there. I was playing stand ruler. So my whole thing is I want them to stay at 3. I want to go to 4. So every time I go to try to push him, because I just give up, I try to push him to 4, make him go because I have all the guard in the world. I can survive and win. He heals. He finally comes and pushes me after like hitting rear guards and all this crap. 4, nope, it's a heal. I'm out of 4. So there's a big stall there, just like eating up time. Finally get to it to where he's at 3. I'm at 5. I go into Drag Ruler. I push him to the 5. I get my field all set up. I have columns for days. I go to swing the first column. He blocks. I go to swing the second column. He blocks. I go to swing the third column. Time is called. I am swinging. Time is called. At that point, he looks at his hand. He puts some cards down. He kind of looks at it, puts more of the cards down. He's like, oh, I can't guard this. No guard. After time is called. So, of course, I check. I get a stand. It don't even freaking need the stand. He takes the damage. I win, quote unquote. because even though the swing happened, because the damage itself wasn't finished or anything like that before time is called, I still lost the round, and thus it wins.
That's probably the shadiest thing I think for me, because when at least here in Toronto, I saw at least 4 games go like this. One of which to my friend, and we laughed about this for a good while because his opponent was the nicest person on the planet. So basically what happened was time gets called in the round, look at your opponent, present the fact that you have game on board and they can't guard it. Do you want to give me the win, or are we both going to go down?
I did that. My opponent still called draw.
Yeah,
your opponent was a douchebag. Because
I think that's stupid.
I was told, because the way I handled it, anytime I had that call, I'm like, I will allow you two to decide who wants to win. If you neither won, yeah, it's a draw. But I did tell you that time. I'm like, you guys can flip for it. You can decide.
And I brought it up and everything. He was like, nope, I want to draw. And I'm like, okay.
I don't like the fact that Bushiroad does not allow the last action to physically dictate and determine how things are going.
Yeah.
Because, once again, it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! And stalling for time. We've had so many people get banned for 3 years because of 5-second stalling into times calls these last few months. It's been insane. There was a story a while back where a guy actually appealed for 5 seconds to kill his opponent, and he got the time extension from the judge, just so that the game would not be a tie. And there was another case a while back where his opponent stalled into time via side decking to try to draw the game, and then that guy got that player banned from Konami for a couple of years because he basically said flat out to the judge that, oh, well, I'm going to take my full 2 minutes to side deck here, when he blatantly didn't have to do anything. But things like that, I think Bushiroad should take a more serious stance on this, kind of like Konami has, because if a game is being pushed through and time is called, and that player knows that they're going to lose, and they try to stall it out to make it seem more advantageous, that player should get DQ'd, because that's a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially things like that. If you're trying to stall your opponent into time, that should be a major serious offense. Like, the clock is only there to ensure that the confines of the game are ensured to be done in that time frame, and it's one of the things I really don't like, because that is such a major serious offense, and it's being taken so lightly.
There is one good thing that came out of my time. One ruling was made, and I was told by Christian when we talked to JD, was that it's supposed to be retroactive for all the regionals, but I'm not entirely sure, but at least for Chicago it was that if that such event happened where the final swing was happening and the opponent could not guard it but time was called, if you can verify that your opponent could not heal out of 6 damage, you could at least still have the win.
You should have the ability to appeal
out of that. But
I don't know what you guys
again, you should have the ability to appeal for an extra time extension to some degree there to prove that the final action can be devastating, such as that.
Yeah, because if in your situation he goes, I can't guard it, you flip the top card, it's not a heal, you should be able to finish that action and win because of it. Instead, you can't. You had a douchebag opponent who was going to sit there and say, nope, I'm going to take the draw, meaning you get the draw, you get
because right there you could prove that they're technically stalling for time at that point. You should be able to appeal for a fucking thing.
Exactly.
Just like I was saying how in Canada shit was ridiculous, someone was... my opponent was playing my friend was playing Glendios, and his opponent was genuinely slow playing. And we were trying to get him to tell a judge, and he's like, they won't do anything because he got really badly ruled last year about that. And basically what happened was he's playing, he worlds ended his opponent. He's at 5, his opponent is 5 locked, and he's Omega locked. And time was called as he ended his turn. Or as his opponent was ending his turn, time got called. So he's like, oh, we both lose. It's so he literally has loss on board.
Once again, that right there, just pretty much.
Right, that should scream instant win.
Yeah, he literally, he's like, my opponent, time was called, my opponent said end turn. As soon as I draw, the game's over.
Yeah, because that allows your opponent to stall for time at that point. And
exactly, and they're like, it's the rules. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, stuff like that needs to be worked into their rules. And once again, I've been bitching to JD about this.
They had it to where the final, the turn was played out, and then it was called done. Now the turn's not even played out.
They also used to have it where if you were tied, it's next damage loses.
Well, here's what I think's crazy too, is that we have, apparently in Singapore, when they do their tournaments, they have a much different ruling structure. Because I've heard a couple different things about rules in Singapore tournaments. Apparently they had an anti-grade stuck thing for a while too. where you could get an additional redraw at the beginning of the game at the starting, like the first bit of tournaments. And apparently the way their time works too is first 1 to 3 damage, or if you're already past 3 damage, it's first damage.
Once again, though, you gotta remember that's more molded towards Singapore too. Like, they shouldn't be comparing English-based rulings. Like, once again, it's kind of like the U.S. mentality towards their marketing. Like, Bushiroad pretty much got fucked the first year here because they tried to run this like they would run it in Japan. And, like, I'm pretty sure you all caught on to that. Like, the marketing structure for Japan was applied here. And until the English branch was actually, like, applied in, like, a year's time here, like, things were massively not the way that they should have been. Now, once again, they're changing things because they're like, oh, this seems more, like, universal, but they need to not be universal. They need to focus just on the American player base.
Yeah,
and
Bushiroad USA hates that. Like, they hate the fact that they have to go with what Japan
a bunch of Japanese players that have this business mentality towards that. They need to get over that and give it a couple more years if the game is still alive, and they'll eventually get over it. But, you know, it might be too late by then.
I think the game's still gonna be alive. I just don't know how well liked it will be in the American, the English meta. All right, let's get back on track here. I mean, that is good to talk about that as a community and rules and things. And definitely rulings as far as tournament goes. Next topic. National Death of Wallet Month. How will we survive? I'm sure we all know what we are talking about. That is November.
Learn to be a vendor and you can't complain. Right, Jonathan?
Were we talking about selling plasma on the way back?
Yeah, we actually legitimately talked about plasma today for Buddy Fight. So
I pre-ordered stuff.
I don't see the death of wallet, really. I really don't. And the reason...
Okay, so hold on. It's not just Vanguard, though. Look at all the other things that are coming out in November.
Smash Bros.
Well, true.
Smash Bros.
Like,
and Pokemon are both supposed to
like,
back.
If you're going to make money, you're making money in November. Like, I mean, December, there's no major titles, as far as I know, that have been announced in any of the games. Robbie, is there anything in Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Next challengers, Quill Forts, let's go. New tier.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Magic, I don't think there is. They don't have one until the spring. Pokemon, they just had theirs.
The game is supposed to come out.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z
Ruby, Alpha
drops.
Sapphire.
Yeah, no, I'm talking
Ball
about but yeah, no, legitimate, there will be Emerald's remakes, or Sapphire
It
Ruby.
got pushed back, though, so it's not anymore, which is good.
Well, it's still coming out in the winter season, I believe, right?
No, it got pushed back to February.
Oh, really?
Something like that. It got pushed back far.
Wait, what?
What?
Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they had a thing on their Facebook announcing that it got pushed back.
I don't see it right now. I was really hoping. Well, I still have Smash Brothers.
I'm pretty sure they had announced that it was on their Facebook.
Well, I'll have to look into that. We'll look into that later. Who's buying? Blake, are you buying anything from the Multitude Fighters Collection?
No, it still releases November 21st on the official site.
Is it? I'm gonna go on to their Facebook and see if I can find the thing.
I might have one of the Dimension Police, but I'm not sure if I'm going to buy anything else till 17 comes out now because...
Okay. All of you are complaining about losing money from your wallet. Just buy singles from Fighters Collection.
Yeah, no. That's what the only thing people should be doing. Like, buying boxes of that does not make sense because eventually you're going to have a bunch of grade 3s that are irrelevant. You're just not going to have anything. Tommy, are you buying anything?
Just from November in general, or Fighters Collection in general, or what?
November. Anything that's being released in November.
Well, in November, I'm picking up the Jewel Knights because I'm going to be using that with Stallone with the Limit Break Enabler.
Okay.
And that, that's the deck I hope to personally take off, which should be fun. My picture should tell you automatically that I am investing into Genesis, and I will be heavily investing into Genesis.
Okay.
So there's that. Come 16E, I'll probably invest a little bit into Royal Paladins, not too much, but that's going to be about the last of it.
That's December. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right.
Mr. Gall, what are you investing into in November?
Mostly Fighters Collection.
You're going to get the Dimensional Robos?
Oh, yeah. I love all the support they're getting along. Even, I mean, of course, Great Knight Kaiser, but have you guys even looked at the 2 support cards they get, Diard and Shadow Kaiser?
Yeah. They got a lot. Definitely a DP set. So, Mike, what are you investing into this month? Or November?
Is just Vanguard or everything?
I whatever. It's
Probably
good.
Yugi too.
Your money.
So, like,
Buy-
let's
I'm
go
gonna
through the
buy
list
and
of
sell
everything I
one.
need to buy this month. Fighters
Wait,
Collection, I have like 4 decks that I need to get singles for. I have my trial decks are already pre-bought for the 21st. I already have 4 of the Royal one and Link Joker one set up from my set 15 purchases. But I also have to get the Shadow Paladin stuff or the Regalia stuff. I haven't picked yet, but I'm going to only support one deck this season. I got Smash Bros on the 21st, which is a flat $100 I need to drop. And then I have all of my money getting thrown at Cool Forts.
Oh, those team chapters.
There's my strategy. I'm going to buy and sell Quill Forts so that I can use the money to buy.
You could fund a yacht on buying Cool Forts. Don't even buy Cool Forts, just buy Tactical Evolution, so Summoners are at 35 a pop.
No, they're only 20s. You read that wrong.
What are you
No,
buying in
I
November?
live in Canada, they're 20 for you.
Robbie, what are you buying in November?
I'm gonna go visit Ideally to 8 and buy 4 SP Phantom Blaster Abyss and the little Legion mate and drop $300 for no reason.
But
Why
no
the fees? Why not the Legion Rares?
But what about Legion Rare?
Well, I guess the Legion rares, whatever.
Those would probably be cheaper in the long run.
They're the same shit.
To be fair, you could get 1 and 3 Blaster Darks and build Seeker Abyss.
Can we just talk about how Seeker Abyss is a shit deck and I can't play it?
Why can't you play it? It's so easy.
He probably gets Wiggle Brave guarded.
I got to
It
play
is
it
not-
online
it-
today.
It is not an easy deck to play.
I played it online today for the first time, and I beat 4 people, and I was done with
Okay,
it.
well, you can't say that. I really get tired of people saying that. Who are you playing?
Me, I just played you in the ice
Are
area.
you playing Pete? What's his name?
Did you play a bunch of Nova Clapplers?
Yeah, you.
I played against, what the hell? It's the Michael Bay sound.
All right, Robbie, what are you buying? Anything else?
Let's see. No, that's honestly about it.
Okay.
You know,
Robbie,
buy you?
Jonathan, I'm
What are you
gonna buy you a ring.
you're gonna buy me a ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would like it. You better put a ring on it.
Nope, I'm gonna buy you a ring pop.
Oh,
Confess
ring
to
pop.
you.
I like that even more. So don't worry.
Yo, Jonathan, we should go around to everyone at ARG and just give them a ring pop.
You know what? I think you can get this for like a quarter.
I know, value.
For a quarter.
Value.
Robbie's gonna plus hard at ARG.
I now have
just
to go to
mad plus.
ARG.
Walk up
just
to
to
Jim,
get
give him
my
one,
Get
be
a
like,
ring
this.
pop from Robbie Cole. I love it.
Yo,
All right, Robbie. Well, I'm gonna buy on the bulk candy site. I'll find them for us.
Jonathan,
All right, Robert, are you there? Are you buying anything from the current sets coming out?
I was gonna get Yggdrasil, but I decided not to, so I'm just going for Echo of Nemesis and Elvira from the Fighters Collection.
Yep, Elvira. That's what my purchase will be. Buddy Rares and SPs. Buddy Rares, wow. Well, that's what they are. Legion Rares, SPs, Elvira, Smash Brothers.
Okay, that reminds me. What do you guys think of the reprint SPs and Fighters Collection?
Yes. Oh.
Yay, nay.
SP Angelica!
I think it's dumb that people are buying the ends at $30 to $40 now when the SP's around the corner.
30. Really?
what are you smoking? They're 20 on the Vanguardians all day, 85.
What? People are selling them for 40 on Vanguardians. I saw that like
think
today.
SPs are full.
Yeah. Yeah, the end is still like a $20 card. Let's not get too hasty here.
Hey, who wants the end for $30? I
Put that perfect riser down.
Some guy I know was selling a playset for 40. I was like, that's
This
pretty good.
perfect riser kicked your ass.
It has in the past. Okay, so now we know about November. Okay, this is gonna be a very simple question. Each of you, what clan needs the most support right now? Like if Bushiroad is gonna make something happen with a clan, what clan is it? What clan needs the most support? Blake.
Honestly, I'm gonna say either Nubatama or Great Nature.
Okay, which one though really do you want more?
Nubatama.
Why is that?
They don't have any support right now. They still have rainbow triggers, for Christ's sake.
They get a crit.
We get a crit.
They do get a crit. I know that. But they just have so much potential, but they haven't been getting any love.
Okay. All right. Tommy, what clan needs the most support right now?
I also say Nubatama. And the reason I say Nubatama is because I want that clan to shine a bit, because it has a mechanic that no other clan does, and that's opponent hand manipulation. They're the only clan that really does it, and I want to see what Bushiroad can do with it that's not broken, but that could potentially shape the meta. I want to see something different. I want to see maybe something that might disrupt this whole meta, Vanguard central kind of stuff, or let's put on a bunch of power and crits, or let's restand it. I want to see something that would actually manipulate or control, kind of do some damage.
Okay, so something not Link Joker. So, all right.
Yeah, sure.
New
right,
mechanics, New Batama, Great Spell Ragnarok.
Jonathan, what clan needs the most support right now?
Also New Batama, honestly. I mean, just...
Wow, 3 New Batama.
I loved when they got stuff in the 13, and they just haven't had anything. They're not going to be ridiculously broken like people thought they would be, but they could just be so great if they got any love at all. I mean, their Legion isn't even... They're getting a Legion, but honestly, it's not all that great.
I like
a lot of the legions. Yeah, but a lot of those legions they released were so-so. They weren't broken Sing Saber like. So.
Nah, they're more to just give them a legion to get people off their backs.
Yeah. All right, Mike. What clan needs the most support right now?
Oh, I mentioned in the chat a stranger. They don't even have triggers.
Oh Lord. All right. Well, that's how they do it in Canada.
I think
it's my U.S. Spider-Man, please.
Like, a stranger, actually, it's a clan that could have existed. It could have been... They definitely could have made it really weird. Like, they could have put, the characters from the anime as, characters.
I summon Kai!
Yeah, they could have made it really... Because that's what it is in Japan. It's just characters from shows. They could have used the same, licensing they have for Wish Shorts and just made a deck of, anime characters and made it really weird. Unfortunately, we thought it would be the most played clan in the game, but still... However, a real clan that I think needs support is not New Batama, but Murakumo, because New Batama is a deck. It has a concept. It's actually a playable deck. Murakumo has never been a deck since this game started. When they came out, they do nothing.
That's Hyaki.
Hyaki doesn't do anything, that was the problem.
He's right, though. They have a bunch of grade 3s and a bunch of triggers. They lack 1s and 2s.
I talked about this before with John, that they just got a new Legion, and the Legion, all it does is it just makes the same column 3 times. And it's it's good, it's consistent, I guess, but it's that's not I feel like it doesn't do enough for what it wants to be doing. Yeah. Maybe Stride will change that, maybe they'll get some new magical thing, but I feel like it's just creating the same shitty column 3 times, and that's not that good. If anything, the best thing, or what they could have focused on with their whole clan, could have been what Zombaku does. Because stunning...
to stop preventing the riding?
Yeah, the prevention of riding and things like that, if it was Zanbaku, but he made it so your opponent couldn't ride a grade 3 if they were on one, would have stunned break rides. It would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been anti-meta. Alright, Mr. Cole, what clan needs the most support right now?
Oh, I'm ready for the hate on this one. I think Link Joker need more support. I'm actually being serious here.
Users need some more support.
Robbie, may I have the number for your dealer?
Let me discuss with you guys why I honestly think that Link Joker needs the best support. They don't have a cross ride yet. The fact that they don't have a cross ride and they have some of the best paralyzing mechanics in the game, they do what's it called does Mega Colony. They do it better, but the problem is they don't have a cross ride yet. And if you look at Link Joker in terms of the anime, they're just getting shafted on story right now because everyone else gets a cross ride to power up. Glendios was kind of their power up, but he wasn't a cross ride. Yes,
they don't get a cross ride. They have Blaster Joker.
Well, did you guys just hear about the lore? Because I don't know what Link Joker is going to do anymore. Because Link Joker just got destroyed in the anime by the lore.
No, what they're doing though, and they're
accepting them.
Link Joker is now going to come down to this non-alien-like state. They're going to become normal units again. So
is it? Oh, okay. I thought it was
going to be a part of Prey now.
It's going to be.
I thought they were going to be a part of the other clans.
No.
Waters on Prey.
If you look at the Japanese releases, Link Joker is getting support somewhere down the road.
Hold on. So
they're getting that. I think what you're going to see is you have this very demented, twisted look. They're no longer going to be that. I think they're going to be like aliens. Think Dimensional Police.
So you might see a cross ride with that then.
Did no one read the lore on the X about how units from the past and present are a thing now?
Yeah, the Gear Chronicles are just ripping units through space and time.
Phantom Blaster, the Overlord will probably get one. Majesty Lord Blaster, if he ever gets a Legion's going to be fucking messed up.
I feel
I
like
would give Bushiroad all my money for an MLB Legion.
do we want to talk about the lore though? Because the lore is weird, and they keep rewriting the lores for cards because Season 4 ruined the lore of a lot of cards.
Well, we'll get back. We'll get another day kind of thing because we're already approaching an hour and a half of being on here. Okay, so Link Joker for Robbie. Robert, what clan needs the most support right now?
I think Nubatama needs the most support, but I don't really care for Nubatama. I would say Mega Colony, just because they have that gimmick of not letting your opponent restand, but they need that consistently. And I forgot what the new one was called, but I feel like they're just not doing their job, like to keep up at all. Along with how we said Murakumo, when Murakumo first came out, it kind of came out with like the release of Neo Nectar. And Neo Nectar's gotten so much more support over Murakumo recently, I just feel like they've been left behind. And also, I just think the Aqua Force Legions just are kind of lacking also.
Mr. Minham, what about you?
I'm the oddball here because, like, as much as I think Great Nature, Mega Colony, Nubatama, Murakumo, yeah, those are clans that are undersupported, I want to go with Angel Feathers. I feel like that is a clan that has such potential that gets robbed all the time. Like, their cross ride or their reverse unit was just shit. Like, it did great things in its own right, but wasn't competitive. Like, how many people you know that go, I'm main deck Angel Feathers reverse right now? Like
3 people at my locals.
Okay, well, you're in Canada.
Blame Canada.
Hey,
But I just,
Bobby, what are you playing
John.
on your phone?
if that's going to be a clan that could do something, it's Angel Feathers. Why? Because the
Okay, what is that?
What's wrong with it?
Like, I've already seen them do
How was that?
I've seen them do even better things. All right.
Is that weird? Do I need to spend money to play that?
No.
Alright.
By the
All
way,
right,
before we
we're gonna go back
download it.
here. We're gonna go back here. What
before we
one unit deserves a Legion mate? What
Spectral Duke.
one currently existing unit?
Vermilion Kaiser, the end.
Right?
Because not getting the fucking thing.
All right, Blake. What unit deserves a unit in the Legion era? What grade 3 do you want to see get a Legion mate?
Mr. Invincible.
I'm okay with that. I really am.
Mrs. Invincible.
Mrs. Invincible.
Hell yeah.
Tommy, what unit deserves a Legion mate?
What, you own it?
I mean, I guess I would have to go with Azure Kaiser, just because of the fact that like we're seeing, and this is surely just to like go with the anime. We've seen Masaki's boss now get a Legion. We've seen Kai's now. We're pretty much assuming that Aichi will get one. We got to get Kamui's classic boss, like his very first boss monster, the Legion. Like I think that'd be the true revival, quote unquote. So that's kind of what I want to see.
All right, Mr. Gall, what unit do you want to see get a Legion mate?
I would dump my entire wallet out in front of Bushiroad if they gave me a freaking Spectral Duke Legion.
What would that even do?
There's so many things
Sides
it could do.
restand?
Yeah, like what? I mean, like what
It would
my God.
restand without losing Twin Drive.
No, it wouldn't lose Twin Drive. Spectral Duke loses Twin Drive, not the Legion.
Yeah.
He'd be restanding off of Duke's skill and then getting its own skill off the Legion's skill.
I could see that. I'd like that. All right, Mike, what unit do you want to see get a
Cost high
Legion mate?
reward.
That's a weird question, because like there's a couple like I would honestly want to see, but like there's a couple that I feel like couldn't be Legion mates because of the way their skills work. I feel like Basskirk or something like that would make a really cool Legion mate, but that's because I like Granblue. But if I actually wanted a competitive Legion mate thing to come out, it would probably be like either like Vermilion, like Robbie said, something like that, or I would be interested in Raging Form getting a Legion mate, but that's because he's not even that old though. But he's one of my favorite cards.
Okay, no, Raging Form Legion mate would be really weird.
Can we
But
discuss that this is what Link Joker actually looks like?
That's what really, that looks. Oh man.
More with the Raging Form thing, though, I was expecting more. I wouldn't mind if he came back as a Legion himself with his own mate. I would rather see that than have him be the mate.
Okay, Robbie, what unit deserves a Legion mate?
Vermilion, hands down.
Vermilion. I could see that. I think that'd
I
be.
mean, honestly, if they just turned it into a thing to where he could restand to get a second attack, or maybe even retire back row or something like.
My friend had a really good
I think
sub
that's
deck
the
for
ability
that.
like everything else is can't guard with gray 1s or above.
That would be good.
My
That
friend's
was
idea
terrible.
was because Vermilion lets you attack the front row. If the mates or the actual legions card was for every unit that is put in the drop zone this turn, like of your opponents, this card gets or you have a flip of damage. Because that way you could reuse the skill, and that way you could just keep striking the front row without him. Like it would get rid of the fact he's super overcosted.
Yeah, but he was very optimal in his prime.
Yeah, he was, and then
I mean,
we
the
made
last-
other things that were him for 2 counterblast and 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And
All
now
right.
we have brawlers.
I'd like to change my answer.
You what? No longer Mrs. Invincible. What do you
No
want?
longer missing it. So I want Top Gun to get the Legion for Gooseman.
Who?
Top Gun from the movie Goose. Goose or Iceman.
Can we just talk about how Cosmo Lord deserves a Legion?
Who?
Cosmo Lord?
Can we
Oh
talk
my
about the
God.
fact that he's one of the worst cards ever?
That army needs a Legion.
Dude, he got a cross ride that's not a cross ride. He's the best.
Robert, who do you want as your new unit for a Legion mate?
What about Twinkle Twinkle Gold Rutile?
Honestly, I would like to see either Dudley Emperor or Shamshield,
Ooh, Dudley Emperor could be fun.
but I feel like
Whoa.
actually makes sense to be in Legion.
And
Like,
Someone just
things.
made a horrible mistake in their life, and I heard it.
if I were to pick a unit, I would want Lacure. I would
It may have been me, Robbie. It may have been me. It was me.
I would think she deserves it. Give her something, make her value go even higher.
Because it's not stupid high already.
I love even stupid higher price cards.
Yeah, Al's picture now just says Spectral Duke Dragon, for anyone that can't read that.
That's pretty funny. All right. Any other topics, discussions you gents want to talk about? I'm leaving the floor open, but make sure it is not crazy conversation.
Crazy
Oh,
conversation.
I have a good story.
Yo, fuck yeah, story time. Let's go. I don't
Let's
give a
go,
fuck.
Al. What's going on?
It's actually just a
What's the
quick
language
one.
of a Canadian in the room?
It's a quick. Actually, it's from the regional we were just at. I showed up the day for a buddy fight, and there were actually a few people there from my locals that I didn't know were going to show. The guy who usually judges and this random guy who usually plays Colin. And I asked him, "Oh, you here for buddy fight?" He's like, "No, I'm here for Weiss." And I'm like, "When did you learn to play Weiss?" He goes, "Last night while I was 5 beers in."
Yo, that game requires so much
And-
dedication. Hey, Jonathan, what's your favorite
Top eight,
musketeer?
right?
Whoa, what?
What's your favorite musketeer?
Musketeer? Vera.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I gotta finish the story real quick. So I don't know how he ended up doing overall, but when I left, he was 5-0 and first place going into Top Gun
Whoa!
with a borrowed deck, and he learned to play like 12 hours previously, half drunk.
Well, did you guys hear about Darwin? He was going to play Wes Schwartz. He's in Vanguardians. The day of, his friends were like, "Don't play Wes Schwartz, play Buddy Fight." He's like, "Okay, how do you play Buddy Fight?" They told him in 20 minutes, and he came top 8.
With what? Where was this?
That was, I think, the regionals that Chimo topped.
Well,
Yeah, he came top 8, and he learned how to play 20 minutes before the event started.
I can't speak right now.
Hold on. Can we discuss a couple of things that this game does not have yet that actually makes it better than Yu-Gi-Oh? The
Which
fact
game?
that people don't go around asking for drugs at the events, and the fact that I haven't heard anyone being high or drunk playing.
I do mine.
Vanguard.
Happens in Canada.
I just private message everyone while they're at the event. I figure out who's there and see who has drugs. So I'm like,
And
oh
then
hey,
John gets you banned
do you
'cause
have
of the
any
drugs.
aspirin?
Sean's like, "Yo, who's got drugs?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm the judge. You're banned. Get the fuck out."
Yo, value.
He gets
Alright,
the drug. He buys it. They're like, "Isn't this entrapment?" He's like, "But I'm not a cop. Get out."
Someone stole Jonathan. I'm making something for him.
John
Alright,
needed,
John, let's fight.
John,
Let's
you-
go. We can
I'm
fight
not
while we're
fighting you.
John needed
No,
drugs to
no,
do
me-
with
me
the
and John have to fight.
Already. I had to fight Tommy tonight. I don't feel good about this.
Who wants to
Okay,
fight?
neither do I. We both feel shit about this.
I
Rob,
might
you
have
should have
to
came
make
to
arrangements.
YCS Toronto.
Actually,
I don't
that would have been That would have been almost the same drive as going to the one I went to.
I don't have a passport, and no one likes me in Canada.
That's not true.
So I want to take this moment to make a call out, and that call out is during this next Vanguardians tournament, the Vanguard Mania. I will call right now that I'm going to top 8 with Jewel Knights. Get at me.
That's cool. You're gonna have to play me.
We got a motherfucker up.
That's fine. I made John super mad because at the very beginning I tried to register with Secret Abyss.
And now that I said that, I'm going to go 0-2 because I'm going to get Greylocked every game. Let's go.
I'm going with Tachi's, baby. Tachi Legion.
I noticed Robbie had his mate list, or his friend or buddy or boss unit listed as Blaster Dark Revenger.
Yeah, that was the best.
Oh, screw you.
Yo, it's actually a mentality thing. Like, if I list one of my units, you don't know what my grade 3 lineup is when you're going in to play me.
I guess I have to change the rule to list.
I wrote Revenger Abyss, I think.
John, what's the point of you changing the rules if nobody reads them?
You're right about that, because you know how many times, I'll have $1 like a day for people who message me going, "Hey, when does the tournament start?"
Hey, you should put a rule in the rules, like just somewhere in the middle that says, "Oh, by the way, if you rent this, we'll give you a
Robbie,
like I said, if you are reading this, please private message me. The first person who does wins a prize. And of course, all the people who could read that rule, it was Brandon Yan.
That's
like,
funny.
oh my God! Like,
Wait, you put that in the rules?
What?
You put it in the rules?
Yo, he runs the tournaments in my group, and I don't even read the shit. Like, don't feel bad.
I don't even read that shit either. I just read how to
know
read.
that if something would Robbie be like, "Hey, can I do this?" Hey,
Me and John had a real conversation with the tournament because I read the rules twice, double-checked that I couldn't run Secret Abyss, and then said I'm playing Secret Abyss, and then it was rule 5.
Yo, you want to talk about some major ruling changes? I got Jonathan to reconsider the entire clan lottery system.
Oh, the ratios.
Yeah. By the way, here, Jonathan, this is for you, buddy, old pal.
Where are we at? Oh, Gaza.
What happened?
Robbie, I'm posting that to the group.
Yes, you probably should.
It's literally going to be called "The Live Stream's Going Well."
Oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
What happened?
Yo, Jonathan, like you've been in like the Hive's nest. Like you can only imagine the things that we've done.
I feel like we're missing out.
Oh, there's a
Chat, go to the chat.
No, it's going to be on the group in a second.
Yeah, it's already on the group.
By the way, so the Zodiac Duelist is actually ran by a sophisticated group of people in an organization, and Jonathan has met them all, and he hates all of us with a passion.
I do not hate all of you. I sometimes I just don't know where some of the shit comes out. Like I want to know your
like this. I just made this because I'm bored.
Wait, who posted it in the group? I don't see it.
He put it as a comment on the live stream. I just made it its own
Oh, there
post.
you go. All
Yeah,
right.
make it its own thread. We need value.
Oh my God.
How else do you plus?
Jonathan says we need topics in the group, so I made a very educated topic. I made a beautiful picture.
Jonathan, who's
So
too
can we actually talk about a really fun topic here? If you could be one Vanguard unit, what would you choose to be?
Cat
Oh.
Butler, come.
Cat Butler?
That'd be you, John.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jonathan, you look like a very good Vera, if I've ever seen one.
John kind of reminds me of a Pacifica or a Riviera.
I'd like to just be the thong on the Pacifica Riviera.
Can we just talk about how we need like the biggest rainbow unit for Jonathan to make him the happiest guy on the planet?
Dude, Rainbow Unicorn. It's a
Rainbow Unicorn! Value, done!
Wait, why doesn't John play Rainbow Triggers?
You're welcome, Robbie. I got you.
John just needs to play Rainbow Triggers. And everything.
Oh my God. Okay, that's a universal thing, right? Like that's called Rainbow Triggers.
This
when
is
you
actually
play-
the first time I've ever heard this concept.
4. You've never heard it as Rainbow Triggers? What have you
Nope.
heard it as?
I've heard it as just 16 triggers.
I've heard it as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely bad. People in my locals constantly refer to it as lottery, and I want to fucking strangle them every time.
I've known it as rainbow triggers for like 2 years now.
They call it lottery triggers, and I want to punch them all.
Wait,
Actually, that sounds fun. Let's play lottery triggers.
it's rainbow triggers. Like that's as long as I've ever known that. I think there might.
Yeah,
even
like
be
I told them, like it's like the colors of the rainbow. They're like, nah.
I think it's even something that Bushiroad has said. You use rainbow triggers or something.
Oh, hey, lottery trigger. You scratch it to find out what trigger you get.
I'm actually looking
Hang
at...
on, I think it's a crit. Let me get a quarter.
Big money, big money, big money.
Yeah, like literally.
And it's a draw. Oh, so sorry.
You guys would hate me in person, because my friend, like, I can call my cards so hard. Like, my friend, one time we were playing in finals for a tournament, and I literally took the top 2 cards of my deck, went crit power, my Vanguard, put them down when he 2'd it past me, and I, like, flipped them. And he flipped them, and they were both crits. There was 3 triggers left in the deck out of 10 cards. Well, it's the only way I was gonna win, so I'm like, whatever, I'll be a douchebag. It was like, oh my god, my friend gets so mad when I do shit like that. It's so funny, though. People think you look amazing, John. Oh, people in the... By the way, I also have the YouTube chat open. Apparently people wanted to watch us play games. I don't know.
We can do that next time.
Every time people say that, I feel like it's Jigsaw. Like, let's play.
But yeah, no, oh, Robbie, apparently someone on YouTube doesn't like you.
I know a lot of people don't like me.
No, Matthew Day's like, I fucking hate it when people write a fake mate, or a fake boss card on the tournaments.
It's not a fake boss though. Blaster Deck is my avatar. All right, so just to keep this chat really entertaining, I'm just gonna leave this here.
Oh god, it's the next thing.
Oh no, I gotta look at
Unicorn?
this.
It is Starlight Unicorn.
No, of Gall's laughing. Oh.
That's going on the group.
God, John, why are you such a unicorn?
Unicorn Senpai, no!
We should get Brandon Yan in here just to
Here's the thing, I can't see it yet. Hold on, it's redirecting. I just opened up something. Come on.
Why did that just happen?
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, guys, we need to talk about this. I put it on the group. I threw it in there, the picture. And the second it went in, I think it recognized your face, John, because it said with Jonathan SP Midham.
Auto tag.
Before I even added you, you were tagged into it.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Facebook knows you. It knows you're a giant unicorn.
Yo, can we just talk about how I want to play 4 copies of this? Yo, you guys mean to tell me you wouldn't play 4 unicorns with Jonathan's face on it?
Oh, I would play 4 unicorns with Jonathan's face on
Someone
it.
tag Brandon Yen in that.
Why are we tagging Brandon yet? I don't get this.
Okay, so he calls me Unicorn Senpai.
There's a lot of things.
Oh.
There's a lot of things you don't have to understand, like why you touch yourself at night. Like the dinosaurs died out because you touched
No,
yourself.
I
Someone
totally understand
commented
that
on the
first
first
part.
post, and they're like, "Where's Starlight Unicorn?"
Yo, this is the time of night where I just don't give a fuck and I just derail John's stream. All right, the reason why Spider-Man will never come out is because to get the rights, it's like $100,000 from Disney, and then you got no time for that.
Spider-Man isn't owned by Disney; it's owned by Sony.
Sony.
Whoever the fuck owns the rights, they just ain't gonna get it.
Also, Marvel's gonna own that shit soon.
Someone does own it, different than Japan.
Sony.
No, Sony owns it in America. That's the problem. That's why Spider-Man can't be in Marvel
here's the
movies.
thing. Do they own that specific artwork, or are we talking about who owns Spider-Man, period?
Spider-Man, the comics are owned by Marvel, the movie rights are owned by Sony, the cartoon rights are owned by Disney.
How do you know
I
that
know
off the top of your head?
Sony
How do I know
Spider-Man's
that?
a
Because
whore.
I
Did
looked
Sony
up
have
the
anything
Marvel
to do
stuff.
with Amazing Spider-Man?
Mike,
Yeah, Sony is the one who made Amazing Spider-Man.
How do you know all that just like right off the top of your head?
Because
he
we
has a
looked,
life like me.
definitely. Like me and my friends made a big list of who owns everything for Marvel because we wanted to know who could be in movies. And then Marvel just said fuck it and started putting characters into movies without even caring. Like how we have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in the new Avengers movie. Because they're like, whatever, we'll just take away as many factors about them and not say their names. So that way they're not the characters.
Can we just talk about how the Vanguard movie's never going to come out in America and we're all going to cry forever?
Hey,
Oh, it's
it
not gonna come out in
might
America, but it's
come
gonna come
out on
out in
Crunchyroll if we get lucky.
How come no one
Well,
ever talks about
I'm
the
actually disappointed that there's not even a raw like bootlegged online yet.
Well, no, because like it's not gonna be camcordered. Like we'll get it on as soon as it comes out on DVD in Japan. We'll get it.
Well,
Which
yeah,
is
but
picture
have they even
formats.
announced it yet? When it's
I want to
gonna
see the
drop?
live action.
As someone who watched Kamen Rider for
Wait,
years,
wait,
it'll
what was
come
the
out 4
subject?
years.
What's the subject?
Sorry,
We're talking about how Spider-Man is the worst movie of all time.
We're talking about how Robbie's gonna die tonight.
Yeah, massive heart attack. 25 KFC buckets and 3 Big Macs.
Done.
Done.
What is in your top right? It looks like you just have a pile of shoe boxes that are about to fall over.
Oh, those are actually all sleeves.
Are they?
Yes, those are all
Oh,
Ultra
okay.
Pro boxes. If it's any consolation, I have an entire tote full of Ultra Pro sleeves.
Want to send me?
And sleeves.
No, I don't like you, whoever just said that. I like Mike. Mike
Sick.
gets my MVP award of this tonight.
So does he get the Ultra Pro sleeves?
No, no.
Rob, you still haven't Thunder or Fire?
Oh, I get Thunder. Fire's okay, but Thunder will get you better later game.
Is this some Brave Frontier thing?
Yes, you should
I
play
literally was
if you have no
shifting
life.
through all the characters, and I'm like, Robbie, which one's better? And you didn't tell me, and I'm like, no,
I didn't
need to
hear
know.
you. You have a chat here. You have a chat.
I put it in the
you
chat.
You did. Wow. I'm oblivious as hell.
All right. Back on task here. We're about 2 hours in here.
Jonathan, this is my. I've stolen the stream from you.
I'm gonna stop broadcast right now. How about that?
Oh God.
Oh,
Wait.
As soon as the broadcast ends, everyone
John,
get
where
naked.
did you want to play our match at?
any final business, gents?
Final
Where
business.
are we playing our match at?
Final turn business.
Are we
Someone's
playing in the shop or are we playing
Jonathan,
at docks? When are we
Jonathan, what
playing?
is?
Where? Our match. Are we gonna go to? I always just do my normal hangout area. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Just use that way people who are watching can know and then can come see.
Go
Jonathan.
I've been playing Bravery for 4 seconds, and I already found Jonathan.
I still can't
John?
hear you, John, because people are talking.
Everyone, shut up. Snow area. Abandoned house.
Abandoned house?
Yeah.
Be there. Be square.
What the hell is abandoned house? Is that
Jonathan,
like the room in the
what's
shop?
gonna be your?
The snow area has one house. You can't even get into it. It's abandoned.
Jonathan, what's your catchy outro phrase going to be for this? Same time, same place next week?
Same time next week. No, I'm not gonna do this weekly. This is too much to deal with all of you.
Well, I'm fucking sorry, Unicorn.
Hey, I didn't get the fucking MVP award. You fat.
And we're why he needs drugs.
Let's just do Guys Club.
Jonathan, you could have got the MVP award, but I was going to give you best sport. You get best sport.
Best sport. I
Guys,
can't
I've
believe
got-
bring awards out in my podcast.
I have the
You
closing
want to give
statement.
out, Jonathan? Give out an award.
Guys, I've got the closing statement right here. Are we all done?
Oh God. You can have the closing statement.
Fuck her
All
right in
right,
the
come on, Blake.
Yes. Actually, I do want to give a special shout out here. Thank you, Jonathan, for supplying all of the tournaments with the prizes. Honestly, without you, the community would be a lot shittier of a place.
Yes, I second that motion.
I mean, this nigga's putting out prizes for Buddy Fight and Vanguard. Like, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no.
As Robbie pointed out yesterday, I am a bit insane for doing 3 tournaments, but you got to do it. People lose interest very quickly.
Hey,
Oh,
Joe, I have a
Nigga,
question.
if I could get you to, like, hang out. Go on.
What?
Go on. Sorry
Oh,
for
okay. No, it's good.
Your question, Mike.
So, yeah, since we're on a live stream right now, when are you finally gonna, make your big announcement about the team?
Oh, well, now you're putting it in an entirely different context. Like, I wouldn't even want to announce it on here, but I'm going to be adding Mr. Mike here and Mr. Jonathan here. They're going to be official members of the Team 2XC roster. And
Wow, I hate you. I've been wanting to be on that team for months, and I don't even get to that. Fucking asshole. I'm done. Jonathan's a pure asshole. Nope. Done.
I am so, ladies and gentlemen, this. Thank you so much.
And the stream blows up.
If you want to see more of this, please comment and subscribe. definitely we'll be doing a few more of these with a couple things
have a
coming
button.
out in a few months. We will be talking about Stride. Once we know more, we'll be talking about the new stuff that's coming out, new support.
If you guys haven't signed up for the Vanguardians tournament yet, please do so. For the love
There
of
we
God,
go.
we only get like 100 people.
We can get 100 plus. I think 112 was our record. Let's get 112. I'll be happy.
Let's get 128 so we can have an actual breakdown that's
If we
right.
can get 112, top 8 will get prizes. All right, I'll break out the wallet on this
We have
one.
an autograph from Jonathan Minham for first place.
Woo!
See, and then we get the buddy fight tournament, which is John gives Mike prizes under the prefix fight tournament.
Mike is sitting on Sim, trolling these people who are starting to play the game for the first time. I.e. Gale.
Been playing friggin' generic, like, Arcana against people.
All right, Robbie,
for the
that's
past 3
appropriate.
days.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for.
Is the crown? Say crown.
We will be doing another one in about 2 weeks. I will be looking for some new commentators. And
Yeah, he
please
won't let me
comment
back in here, guys. Comment, free my nigga Robbie Cole.
If you are watching, which comment and subscribe. Thank you again, gentlemen. I will talk to you all soon. Tommy, PM me. We'll figure out a place to play. Our time looks like we're gonna be doing it right now. All right.
Well, you said the
guys.
abandoned house, so I mean.
Yep, I'm gonna be there in 2 seconds. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.